Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ybot, and welcome back to, what is going to be post-commentary here. Drinking post-commentary on, episode 24 of my Let's Play with, Chungsu here. So at this point, I've finished it off, for better or worse. And, yeah, I'm just coming back here because the original commentary didn't go through. I messed up with XSplit somehow. So anyway, there's 4 episodes there. It's far too much to dump, so I'm going to have to go back here, and I'm going to have to post-record the commentary here. So, last episode, we were very, very slowly surrounding the capital of Integer, which I think it's Welshgit, or something like that. But anyway, here, we're just taking a peek here. We're taking a peek at the war score. We've got a pretty impressive war score. Theirs isn't too bad either, but we've more than doubled it. We could probably take a couple of cheap techs or one really good tech from them if they would just peace out right now, but the AI has a tendency to not want to do that, which I guess is so you don't abuse the war score system, because frankly, it's pretty damn easy to get a positive war score on the AI. Getting a big one requires taking cities, though. Anyway. Well, it looks like we're just doing some housekeeping here. I have no control over the game at this point. I am just watching the silent video here, with no commentary, I should say. There should still be sound effects, even though I don't hear them in the video editor here. And, oh, my golem's almost dead here. I better do something about that. Better do something about that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to squish that guy right there. We're going to set our golems up to heal, and yeah, our tank is nearly dead. Let's get the tank the hell out of here. We'll do that. We'll pull the tank out. And we've got our max upgraded fighter jets here, so we're going to do whatever we can here, which is, in this case, just bombard a Redeemer and destroy it. Alright, so I'm just going to have a little sip of... I'm going to have some water, actually, here. I still got a good portion of my beer left. But we're going to start with water here. So anyway, I've got a new phasal transporter there, very close to Welshgit, and the aliens are actually allied with me at this point, so I don't have to... Or they're friendly. I don't have to worry about them attacking me. So, I believe one of their nests is within my territory, so after a certain amount of time with not fucking with the aliens, not attacking them, not breaking their nests, they become friendly with you, which means that they consider you to be one of their own, and you can all live in peace and harmony. And I believe if you go to war with somebody, they will help sometimes. Anyway, here, we're just doing housekeeping at this point. Just trying to build up the cities we've captured before from the NSA. And also, just going to build some units in Prosperity as well. We've got Prosperity and Fidel in the Franco-Iberian corner of the world here. We captured Prosperity with our navy, and then we got Fidel as part of the peace treaty. And, yeah, we're just going to continue on with the housekeeping here, and I'm just going to have some beer now while the game is just going through the turns here. Alright. So our Hellion here is at extremely low health. This guy here, this particular golem as well, is also kind of hurting for health here, so we're going to get him all fortified up here, and hopefully nothing worse will happen to him. Might be a good idea to use my Savage there to just do some damage, and I did. And it did do some damage. However, they might still be able to take out that golem at its weakened rate. I'm just deleting that worker, and I'm deleting this worker because I don't need them at this point. I've got so many workers. I've got more workers than I know what to do with. And yeah, I'm gonna move that unit, who is extremely weakened by getting bombarded by Welshkit and its fighter complement and its garrisoned unit. And yeah, we're just continuing on, microing things around the integer capital here. I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I was talking about last episode now here, just as we're going through the busy work of positioning things here. So, I noticed on the Civ Fanatics forums, under the Civilization Beyond Earth section, that a guy was mentioning some stuff about winning Apollo games, games on Apollo difficulty, and what he suggested was that you find a good, either a good station or two, and set up all your trade routes with them, avoid the AI exclusively so they don't get any bonuses, and also just ignore agreements completely. Do not engage whatsoever with the AI, because they are all assholes and they will all try to kill you. Now, I agree with some of that. On my Apollo playthrough, where I played as Hatuma, which is arguably the most powerful civilization there is, since you get so many bloody trade routes, I primarily ignored that advice, except for when I got the highest science delta through going to the highest science delta from, from the stations. But, yeah, he also recommended that you stay isolated, which is good. It's all good advice. It'll all probably win you a game, but I don't think it's necessary. What is necessary, however, is to make sure you get your bloody spy agency nice and early. Pretty much just ignoring the affinity, or at least the initial affinity text, I would say, and just go for stuff that you need. So, if that's chemistry for submarines, grab chemistry. If that's computers for the spy agency, go for that. Rocket battery, the technology, ballistics, I think, for rocket batteries, go for that, etc., etc. So, on Apollo difficulty, you freaking go for what you can, and you make sure having a large army is of high priority, specifically having an army that's going to trade well with the opponent. If you're facing off against a regular opponent, like, say, Kozlov, then just having a bunch of the Ranger-style units there. I forget what they're called once they get higher up. I think they might be Guardians or something. They change their names every single upgrade. But anyway, the ranged unit that is similar to the Archer in Civilization. That unit, you want to make sure that... we'll call them snipers, because they are snipers. Alright, so you want to make sure you have a great deal of snipers. You want to make sure you have melee units to also block for them, either tanks. Tanks are probably preferable because they are highly maneuverable, but also if you've got some good unique units with your affinity, once you get into the better units, you'll know what to do most likely if you're playing on Apollo difficulty. But in the sea, most of all, he was saying just avoid aquatic play altogether. I strongly disagree there, because submarines are invisible, which is quite powerful. As long as the enemy does not have a unit right next to them, they're invisible. So if you've got your submarine 1 hex away from an enemy ship, you can bombard them without them even seeing you, which is very, very, very good. And I found that I've used that a number of times here in this game, as you guys have seen, and I've also used that a number of times in both the Apollo playthrough I was attempting earlier today, and also my test out Apollo playthrough with Hatuma. Now, what I did with Hatuma is I was just like, I didn't care. I continued with the agreements. I didn't care about giving anybody any sort of bonuses, because the AI is not that great at managing every last bit of tech and bonus that they get. Otherwise, we would never beat them, because they get just retarded amounts of bonuses to begin with. So I think you're safe to do agreements. That's the point I'm trying to make here. You're safe for going in with agreements with the AI as much as you can. I strongly recommend spying on them as much as you can, trying to steal as much science as possible. Steal techs if you can, but focus mostly on stealing science and energy, I guess. Especially if you're Chungsu, who I am right now. And once again, if you're facing Chungsu, look out. Make sure your cities are well fortified, because they will probably steamroll your army pretty effectively, because Chungsu seems to get a lot of affinity points really quickly, and I'm going to attribute that to them getting a bonus from their science, thanks to spying. So, and actually that bonus is probably modified. Come to think of it, it's modified by the difficulty, I would imagine. So basically, I end up seeing them with, like, purity ships when they have the purity patrol boats, whereas I still have, like, the basic patrol boats. So they have... if you categorize them rank 1 through 4, they have rank 3 patrol boats, while I have rank 1 patrol boats, and that continues on through a lot of the stuff there. Eventually, I'll get rank 2 stuff, and they'll still have rank 3. It'll take them longer to get rank 4, and you'll have a chance to catch up there, but initially you get stomped. And we have an Aquilon. Alright, now this right here is one of the coolest units that I think that they've added on here, folks. I'm sorry to just, like, start talking about something completely different, but the Aquilon is freaking cool. The Aquilon is a unit... oh, and by the way, and aside to this, I am just simply buying a lot of my units with energy at this point. I've been having production issues this entire game, but I'm making a lot of money, both through spying and also through just money in my cities. So at this point in the game, I'm just buying stuff up, because I find it a lot quicker than the 20 turns or so that it takes to actually manufacture, say, an Aquilon. Anyway, the Aquilon itself can both bombard, and it can also hold an air unit. It can hold 2 air units, as a matter of fact, if you have the appropriate upgrade for it. So that is really damn cool, in my opinion. And I believe we're about to attack the beacon here, based on what I'm seeing on the screen. Once again, I have no control over this. I'm just watching the video here that has no commentary. So we're just doing a little bit of housekeeping here. So I think I'll go back to what I was talking about earlier, which was that dude's strategy on the forums. Ignore stuff, trade with stations, spy as much as you can, and basically just don't get into any wars. Now, that I disagree with. If you know how to beat the AI in combat, especially if your neighbor is someone like Kozlov or someone who's equivalent, they may have units that are, say, when you have level 1 units, they may have level 2 out of 4 units. But that's doable. That's quite doable to take down with the sniper units if you're on land, or the submarines if you're on water. I strongly recommend using a lot of submarines, once again, just because they are so good. They're not quite as maneuverable as the surface boats, but or patrol boats for that matter, but patrol boats trade horribly. And that's because they're melee units, so I suggest keeping maybe probably no more than 4 of them in your navy, but definitely if you have a smaller navy, just 1 or 2, and then have the rest of them, say, like 4 submarines, just to start off with your particular naval group. Focus mostly on submarines. Later on, the battleship type units get super powerful. But yeah, at the moment, at the beginning of the game, not so much. Oh, and those guys there, the walkers, I forget what they are. I think they're called carvers. Those things can shoot insane distances. They have, like, no mobility whatsoever. Next to no mobility, but they shoot insane distances. It's quite impressive. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to move our prime golems down there. We're going to take our seraphs here. Well, we've already used one of our seraphs to bombard the city. And we're just very slowly bombarding Welskit little by little. I'm just having my beer here while we do that. And the turn is turning over, so I'm going to go back here and just for a bit to what I was talking about earlier there. So I strongly disagree with the dude who's talking there. I think that you should get into wars. You should be prepared for a fight. The AI may very likely dogpile on you on Apollo difficulty from what I've seen. And we'll explore this more in my Apollo Let's Play here. But what I say to you is build a lot of units that trade really well, and just if you know how to command your army and take advantage of the AI's stupidity, and believe me, there's a lot of it. The Chungsu Navy in my last Let's Play could have probably captured my capital about 5 times, and they didn't. Now, a good portion of that is that they just brought along a certain number of patrol boats, and they weren't careful with them. But yeah. Ultimately, the AI is stupid. I'm building a rocket battery there. I'm just going to build defensive buildings wherever I can in my cities so I don't have to worry about them being recaptured. That's what I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, ultimately, if you can trade efficiently with the AI, then you're in good shape, but you do need to focus on that army right away. You don't want to overly focus on building up buildings or building up science. Because also, once if you get a really big victory against the AI, then you can choose, depending on how things go, and once again, the true saber, they're called sabers, not carvers, my mistake. But anyway, depending on the way the war goes, you should be, once they start offering peace, I would recommend declining the peace offer and then going in on your turn, and hopefully you'll have access to the buffet, as it would be, of peace offers or reparations, and you can spend your war score on that. So you can choose between cities, techs, energy, diplomatic capital, and it's great. And we've just gone ahead and we've destroyed their beacon again here, so now would be a good time to peace out, or any time after we take their capital to help push forward for a domination victory. We may still end up going for the Emancipation Gate and the Emancipation Victory, but so far we're doing okay on the domination victory front here, apart from plunging it down to like negative 50 health all the time whenever we take an empire. But another thing about this game that's different from Civilization 5 is that stuff does not persist all that long, all things considered. It goes away in about 10 turns, whereas like it can be like 20 to 30 turns when you capture and annex a capital in Civilization 5. Or at least it feels like that. It feels like it takes an eternity. Who knows whether it does or not. Anyway, I'm just going to have a little sip of my beer here while we're doing our housekeeping here, or not. Maybe I will not. Just going through the diplomacy screen here, nothing much. Here, what are we doing? Oh, we're looking into getting some agreements here, which is a good idea. We can reduce unhealthiness with this particular agreement. We can spend some of this huge amounts of diplomatic capital, which I can also use to buy units and buildings if I can. Integer has a bonus for that. But, yeah, I don't, so I primarily spend it on personality traits and agreements. Anyway, we're just going to send our explorer out to explore around here. Hopefully we can heal up our Hellion. I hope that I pull him back, because otherwise he's probably going to die. Unless I don't even care. And then the fucking beacon's being built again. Ah, god damn it, Space Germany. Stop it. Alright, guys, so... not entirely sure what's going on here at the moment here. Nothing's happening on the screen here. So I'm just going to pause the recording. I may do some editing if need be. Okay, no, never mind. I was just making decisions. I was probably talking in the talking into the void, since it certainly wasn't recorded. And yeah, we've gone ahead. We've taken that. We'll I guess attack the new beacon, or maybe we'll try to whittle down the city of Welshkit first here. See about maybe doing that. Blast them with my saber from like 1,000,000 miles away here. And we'll move up all of our units into range of the integer capital, and we'll try to close things off here. See if we can't close off the war with them. And yeah. Oh. Right, I'm actually attacking this CNDR for integer from all the way over there. Those things have an insane amount of range at this point. They are fully, they are at level 4 in terms of their affinity levels. But, yeah, it's still pretty damn impressive if you ask me. So anyway, we're just going to move things around a little bit. We'll probably work at nibbling away at the new beacon again, because those little bastards keep building it. And while things turn over, I'm just going to have some more of my beer. Alright. And what have we got this particular turn here? Trying to see from my screen here, it doesn't provide as high quality resolution as you guys get, but yeah, Welshkit does not have a lot of, has not taken a lot of damage this turn so far. A lot of damage has been carried over from the previous turn. So let's see. Yeah, I believe we're focusing heavily on capturing it. We're just moving our units into where we can pillage tiles to gain health back. I believe we just used our our promotion on health for that guy, so we could go ahead and attack the beacon again. And we're actually going to attack the beacon with our fighter jets. Just so next turn, excuse me. So next turn we can take it out. And it should be about time to actually move our navy out of the little ice pond that Duncan had here where he landed. Poor little Duncan, landing in the ice pond. Got this little ice-locked sea that he can't get out of. Which, really, he can get out of it with submarines, no problem. And he gets those fairly early in the game. And he can also build land, he can also build, land cities, which he did do. Honestly, though, I would actually really enjoy that sort of a location if I was a human player in this on a high difficulty level, because if I wanted to go for a peaceful victory condition, then I would have my pick of, well, I wouldn't have my pick of where to settle, but I kind of would at the same time. If nobody else was anywhere near me, then I'd be in really good shape. Alright, we've gone ahead and we've destroyed the beacon. So yeah, if I was in there, I'd be in good shape because, like, the AI is kind of stupid when it comes to attacking isolated seas. Hell, they're even stupid when they're attacking via sea, where they can't just send carpets of boats after you. But anyway, we're making the final push for Welshkit here. Hopefully it'll fall fairly soon. And we'll be able to see about maybe, just maybe, getting peace. And, oh, there we go. We've got it. But we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to annex that city, I believe. I don't think we've ever created a puppet. We're just checking the health levels at this point, so it is going to be a lot more unhealthiness to actually annex the city, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway, because the period of resistance does not last all that long. The period of martial law does not last all that long, and after that, the city just functions as much as any other city does, mostly. Alright. So, and now we can end the conflict here, which is great. And as I mentioned earlier here, you can see the great buffet of stuff that I can get here. However, unfortunately, I don't have enough to get more of her, some of her more expensive techs. However, I do have enough, I do have sufficient points to take a number of cities, actually. So I'm popping out of here just so that I can get the names of the cities I can capture. I can't capture the one off to the east, or I can't take the one off to the east because that's her capital. I'd like to take it, but I can't. So I'm just taking a look at things that I can take from her here. I believe I can take the two off to the southeast there. So that's what I'm going to do.
Geht es dir gut?
Taking those two cities, taking a third as well, and we're just going to max. We're going to max out whatever energy and diplomatic capital we can take from them, and that will be that. That will be the spoils of war that we take from Integer here. We're just going to annex all three of those cities that we just got. And our next target would be Elodie, I assume. I mean, we could possibly try to push after KP here, but right now that wouldn't make much sense. They provide a destination for all of our trade routes here, so I think the best bet is to go after Elodie, because she's currently in possession of two capitals. If I can get a phasal transporter on the land here, or even just, I think that one might be a little bit on the land as well, and start beaming in some land units to defend our acquisitions. Excuse me. And we'll be able to also, of course, bring in the beam in the boats and do more damage from the sea as well. Specifically, we'll be able to capture their capital. And however, though, we're going to need some more phasal transporters to beam guys in, because most of our army right now is in integer territory or former integer territory. So that's a concern for us. But this particular war is something that we will most likely be dealing with in the next episode here, since I see the time is getting close to the end of the video here. So I think right now what we're just doing on the screen here is we're just taking a look, we're examining the situation in Franco-Iberia, and we're deciding what the best bet is. And we'll just go through the housekeeping of production queues here, and that will pretty much be it, guys. So yeah, we're just deciding what to produce in Prosperity, and we're going to go ahead. We actually lost the phasal transporter here. That's interesting. So I'm just deciding where to put that. It'd be wiser to put it on land. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. I've gone ahead and I've launched the phasal transporter. Prosperity can either accept a boat beam in or a troop beam in, land troops beam in. And we've got one hex there that can also accept land troops beam in. So that'll be useful for kind of both of them there. And yeah, just a little bit more housekeeping. I'm going to build some more fighter jets, because those have proven themselves to be invaluable in my war efforts. And I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.